The Shawn Diddy Combmes trial has taken a startling turn with explosive testimonies and shocking revelations that are shaking the public's perception. What really happened in that hotel hallway and behind closed doors? Let's dive into the jaw-dropping first day of this high-profile federal case. This isn't just any court day. Shawn Combmes, known as Diddy or Puffy, faces serious federal charges including sex trafficking and racketeering. The courtroom was tense, filled with his family dressed in somber black and white, silently absorbing the unfolding drama. Diddy appeared composed, even reading a Bible quietly before proceedings, which some saw as a calculated move to shape his image. A chilling video showed Diddy violently assaulting Cassie Ventura in an LA hotel hallway. This brutal scene wasn't just an isolated incident, it set the tone for the prosecutor's case, exposing layers of alleged abuse and control. The raw footage was a powerful, uncomfortable glimpse into a world many didn't expect. Flores, a former hotel security officer now an LAPD cop, delivered testimony that stunned the courtroom. He described arriving to a chaotic scene, witnessing the aftermath of violence and, most explosively, spotted an unidentified man in dark clothing inside the room. This mysterious figure could change everything about the story we thought we knew. Flores also revealed that Diddy offered him a large sum of money, estimated by the officer as a thick stack of bills, to keep silent about the incident. Flores bravely refused and even secretly recorded the hotel surveillance video to preserve the truth, explaining he wanted his wife to believe the horrors he'd witnessed. On the defense side, attorney Tenny Geragos argued this case boils down to messy, complicated relationships rather than criminal conduct. Acknowledging the violent video but attributing it to a fight over a phone, she warned jurors not to confuse unconventional sexual relationships with federal crimes like racketeering. Phillip, a former male escort, gave graphic accounts of incidents with Cassie and Diddy, describing coerced acts on film, excesses of control, and intimidation severe enough to cause him lifelong trauma. His emotional testimony brought the allegations from accusations to haunting personal experiences. As the courtroom drama unfolded, Diddy's children had visibly emotional reactions, his daughters looked away and covered their faces, while his sons remained silently focused. The trial is far from over, with Cassie Ventura expected to testify soon, setting the stage for a confrontation that hasn't happened in 6 years. The first day of Shawn Combmes' trial shattered many illusions, revealing a tangled web of power, alleged abuse, and legal battles. As the case continues to unravel, the world watches closely, reminded that behind celebrity and fame can lurk dark, disturbing realities. Stay tuned, because this story is far from finished. Opening day shocker, charges and courtroom atmosphere. This isn't just any court day. Shawn Combmes, known as Diddy or Puffy, faces serious federal charges including sex trafficking and racketeering. The courtroom was tense, filled with his family dressed in somber black and white, silently absorbing the unfolding drama. Diddy appeared composed, even reading a Bible quietly before proceedings, which some saw as a calculated move to shape his image. The atmosphere was heavy, charged with the weight of decades of allegations and the anticipation of explosive testimonies. It was clear from the start, this case was going to be more than just a headline, it was the unraveling of a complex story of power, control, and alleged criminal enterprise. The presence of 8 lawyers on Diddy's side, along with his family closely watching, underscored the seriousness of the moment. Observers noted the stark contrast to his usual image, as the defendant maintained a calm, businesslike demeanor, perhaps trying to convey confidence amidst the storm. Yet, the courtroom silence often filled the gaps where words could not, as everyone braced for what was coming next. This opening day set a grim tone, laying the groundwork for a trial that promises to reveal much more than just legal arguments. It's a window into a saga that affects not only those inside that courtroom, but resonates with a wider conversation about justice and accountability. The horrifying hotel beating video. A chilling video surfaced that showed Diddy violently assaulting Cassie Ventura in an LA hotel hallway. This brutal scene was far from just an isolated incident, it set the tone for the prosecutor's case, exposing layers of alleged abuse and control. The raw footage was a powerful, uncomfortable glimpse into a world many didn't expect. In that video, Cassie is seen barefoot, wearing a hoodie and blue pants, as Diddy grabs her from behind, slams her to the ground, stomps on her, kicks her, punches her, and drags her out of view. Moments later, he throws a vase that smashes to pieces. Diddy later admitted and apologized on social media for the assault, but despite the brutality, he isn't charged with assault or domestic violence. This disturbing footage was played frame by frame in court, forcing jurors and viewers alike to confront the violent reality behind the headlines. The impact of this video rippled throughout the courtroom, with Diddy's reaction being muted, while his children showed visibly emotional responses, highlighting the profound personal toll of the case. This video doesn't just represent a moment of violence, but a piece of a much larger, darker pattern prosecutors allege, forming the foundation for the severe charges of sex trafficking and racketeering against Diddy. The unexpected witness, security guards revealing testimony. Israel Flores, a former hotel security officer now an LAPD cop, stunned the courtroom with his testimony. On the day of the assault in that Los Angeles hotel hallway, he received a call about a woman in distress on the 6th floor. When he arrived, the scene was chaotic. Flores described seeing Diddy pacing in a towel and socks, his gaze sharp and unsettling, while Cassie Ventura hid in the corner, covering her face. The hallway was trashed with shattered flowers and a broken vase. But the biggest shock came when Flores testified about a man he hadn't previously disclosed in his report. Flores described this mysterious figure as a black male dressed in all dark clothing, standing inside the hotel room with Diddy and Cassie. This revelation raised urgent questions. Who is this man? What role did he play in the events that unfolded? Flores explained he didn't include this detail initially because the man wasn't engaging in the incident, but his presence could be a critical piece of the puzzle. Adding to the drama, Flores recounted how Diddy tried to bribe him with a thick stack of cash, roughly the length from his thumb to pinky. Flores refused the money, interpreting the offer as an attempt to suppress the truth. Taking matters into his own hands, Flores secretly recorded the hotel's surveillance footage on his phone, wanting to keep evidence that might otherwise disappear. His decision to safeguard this video was personal, saying he needed to show it to his wife who would not believe what I had seen. This testimony shifted the narrative, introducing new players and fresh mysteries into the case, and left the courtroom buzzing with questions about what else might come to light as the trial unfolds. Bribery attempt and suppressing evidence. Flores also revealed that Diddy offered him a large sum of money, estimated by the officer as a thick stack of bills, to keep silent about the incident. Flores bravely refused and even secretly recorded the hotel's surveillance video to preserve the truth, explaining he wanted his wife to believe the horrors he'd witnessed. Flores said Diddy offered him a stack of money the length of his hand, which could have been a substantial bribe. He interpreted it as an attempt to keep the incident quiet and to suppress that video. But Flores did not stay quiet. Instead, he took matters into his own hands, recording the surveillance footage on his personal cell phone. He said he wanted to show it to his wife because he knew she would not believe what he had seen. This act of defiance was critical, as the video became a key piece of evidence shown to the jury in full and then analyzed frame by frame. Prosecutors emphasized that the money offered, reportedly $100,000 in a brown paper bag, was part of a deliberate effort to cover up the assault. Flores' refusal to accept the bribe and determination to preserve the footage not only exposed attempts to manipulate the narrative but also highlighted the lengths to which some would go to hide the truth. This testimony laid bare the tension between power and accountability, casting a shadow over the defense's claims. It's a powerful moment that underscores the stakes in this trial, and one that could influence the jury's perception of the credibility of the evidence and the forces at work behind the scenes. Defense's counterattack, disputing criminal allegations. On the defense side, attorney Tenny Geragos, Mark Geragos's daughter, delivered a strong opening statement meant to challenge the prosecutor's narrative, reminding the jury that Shawn Combmes, aka Diddy, is presumed innocent until proven guilty. She emphasized that the case is not about crime, but about messy, complicated relationships. Geragos acknowledged the violent hotel video, calling it horrific, dehumanizing, and terrible. However, she insisted it was simply a fight over a phone, not evidence of racketeering or criminal enterprise. She cautioned jurors not to confuse unconventional sexual behavior with illegal activity. Geragos referenced Diddy's known lifestyle, including his love of baby oil, posing the question, is that a federal crime? She answered, no. Throughout her statement, the defense painted a picture of a man facing exaggerated allegations, grappling with personal drama that spiraled out of control. The defense's main thrust was that the government must prove every element of the charges beyond a reasonable doubt, and that mere allegations of being mean or a jerk are not crimes. This approach sets the stage for a battle over narrative control, as the defense seeks to separate Diddy's personal conduct from criminal responsibility. Yet, with graphic testimony and disturbing evidence looming, the defense faces a steep challenge convincing jurors to look past the shocking details to the finer points of the law. The courtroom tension rose as the defense demanded the jury focus on facts, and not be swayed by emotion or salacious gossip. As the trial progresses, this clash between harsh accusations and robust defense narrative will define the fight for justice. Disturbing testimony from a male escort. Phillip, a former male escort, gave graphic accounts of incidents with Cassie and Diddy, describing coerced acts on film, excesses of control, and intimidation severe enough to cause him lifelong trauma. He testified that he was first hired by Diddy and Cassie to strip for them at the Gramercy Park Hotel, but when he arrived, it was not a party. It was just Cassie and Diddy. His description of meeting Diddy for the first time was like something out of a movie script. He said Diddy was sitting on the sofa, wearing a white robe and a baseball cap, with a bandana tied over his face, obscuring everything below the nose. Mr. Phillip said that he was paid by Cassie to have sex with her while Diddy sat nearby and masturbated. He was told not to use a condom, but that baby oil, Astroglide, and candles were all in full supply. He also said Diddy filmed everything, using a camcorder or phone, and even took a photo of Phillip's driver's license, which Phillip said he took as a threat. Phillip met Cassie and Diddy many times in New York, at Diddy's apartment, Cassie's apartment, and various hotels in Manhattan. Sometimes Diddy would command him to ejaculate either on or inside Cassie. Phillip said that he often waited for hours in the suite while Diddy and Cassie disappeared into the bedroom. Once inside Cassie's West End Avenue apartment, Phillip testified that a liquor bottle was thrown across the room and hit the wall. Diddy grabbed Cassie by the hair and dragged her into the bedroom, where Phillip heard slapping and screaming. When they re-emerged, Cassie was visibly upset. Diddy just looked at them and said, "Are y'all ready to continue now?" Phillip said he could not perform after witnessing that. During his testimony break, Diddy stared him down. When Phillip resumed, he said he didn't report the abuse earlier because he was scared for his life. He said, "My thoughts were, this is someone with unlimited power. Even if I went to the police, I'd end up losing my life." Phillip tried to build a friendship with Cassie and warned her she was in danger. He begged her to leave. He also revealed something deeply personal, sharing that after witnessing the abuse and fear, he developed erectile dysfunction. Diddy's daughters left the courtroom during Phillip's testimony and didn't return, while his sons stayed quietly focused. This testimony undeniably added a dark, emotional layer to the trial, painting a picture of fear, control, and trauma behind the closed doors of fame and fortune. Family reactions and the road ahead. As the courtroom drama unfolded, Diddy's children had visibly emotional reactions. His daughters looked away and covered their faces, while his sons remained silently focused. The tension in the room was palpable, with every witness and piece of evidence seemingly weighing heavily on the family. Diddy's daughters, unable to face the harsh realities being revealed, chose to step out of the courtroom during the most intense moments of testimony, never returning. His sons, however, stayed put, their expressions serious and attentive, taking in every detail. This contrast in reactions paints a poignant picture of the personal toll this trial is taking on the Combs family. The trial itself is far from over, with the most anticipated testimony yet to come. Cassie Ventura, the alleged victim and star witness, is expected to take the stand soon for the first time in 6 years, where she will face Diddy in court. The anticipation surrounding this moment is intense, as it could bring new revelations and dramatically impact the course of the case. Everyone is waiting to see how this long-awaited confrontation will unfold, knowing it could be the turning point in this high-profile trial. As the legal battle continues, public attention remains captivated, reflecting the complex intersection of celebrity, power, and justice. This ongoing saga serves as a stark reminder that behind the glitz and glamour, painful and difficult truths can surface, affecting not just those inside the courtroom but the entire community watching closely. The days ahead promise more revelations, and the road ahead for all involved appears challenging and uncertain. The first day of Shawn Combs' federal trial revealed much more than anyone expected, exposing a complex web of allegations involving abuse, coercion, and shocking behaviors that go beyond simple accusations. It became clear early on that this isn't just a celebrity scandal, but a serious legal battle with life-altering consequences. The video evidence, especially the brutal hotel hallway assault, set a disturbing tone that no one could ignore. Testimonies from witnesses, like Officer Israel Flores revealing the presence of an unidentified man in dark clothing and the attempted bribe, and Daniel Phillip's harrowing accounts of control and intimidation, painted a grim picture of the alleged criminal enterprise. Meanwhile, the defense pushed back by framing the abuse allegations as messy personal issues, warning jurors not to confuse unconventional sexual practices with federal crimes. The reactions in the courtroom were telling, with Diddy's children showing visible emotional distress, signaling the personal and familial fallout already underway. This trial is far from over, with Cassie Ventura herself expected to testify soon, a moment that promises even more drama and revelations after 6 years of silence between the two. What started as a headline about celebrity misconduct is now unfolding into a deep, legal reckoning about power, control, and justice. As both sides prepare for intense battles ahead, the world watches closely, waiting to see how the truth will emerge piece by piece. This case reminds us all that fame and fortune do not place anyone above the law, and that sometimes, beneath the glitz, there can lurk dark, painful stories begging to be heard. Stay tuned, because this saga is just beginning to unfold.